Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel, and here on my channel I film about family, relationships, beauty and lifestyle. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for always tuning in. If you're new here and you just see me for the first time, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, okay? Because here on my channel we learn, we share and we have fun. Today I'll be reacting to episode 4 of the show Blue Therapy. Okay, yes, if you don't already know, there's this trending show on YouTube here called Blue Therapy. Okay, it's a social experiment and it's relationship based. Okay, I already reacted to episode 1, 2 and 3 of the show Blue Therapy and I have it here on my channel. I'm going to leave a link to that reaction video here in my description box. You can watch that after you watch this, or you can watch that before you watch this. Okay, so in today's video I'll be reacting to episode 4 of the trending show Blue Therapy. Okay, who else is watching the show with me? I mean, you know, if you've watched the show and then you heard my reaction, do you agree with what I said, or do you think different? Do you think, you know, with regards to Paul and Chioma, do you think Paul is good for Chioma? Do you think Chioma should be in that relationship with Paul? Okay, how about Deborah and Jamal? What do you think about them? Because basically I feel like Chioma and Paul are mature. Yes, they're a mature couple. I can say that they know what they want, basically, especially, and they know where they are heading. But I don't know if I would say the same thing for Jamal and Deborah. I feel like those ones are still young, especially Deborah. Okay, I feel like she's still young, or rather I feel like she still needs time to really understand herself and understand what she wants and how to go about what she wants. Okay, that's what I feel about Deborah. And as for Jamal, I don't know, I still kind of feel like he's not straightforward. But anyway, let us go ahead and talk about episode 4 of the show Blue Therapy. So if you don't already know, this show is a social experiment, and in this show we have two couples. Okay, first couple is Chioma and Paul. Chioma and Paul are both Nigerian couples, and the second couple is Deborah and Jamal. Deborah is Nigerian and Jamal is Ghanaian. Okay, and I think they are all based in the UK. Yes, they are. And the show is about them, you know, trying to make their relationship work, speaking to a therapist and all that. Yeah. So in episode 4, first of all, let's talk about my first couple number 1, Paul and Chioma. Okay, so for me, I just think that Paul is not good for Chioma. Okay, Paul is actually not good for Chioma. And if you feel the same way, leave a comment and tell me what you actually think sincerely. But I think that Paul is really not good for Chioma because he's going to drag her down an emotional part. That's what I just feel like he's going to do. So, you know, and yeah, there were some things they said specifically in episode 4 that drew my attention, and those are the things I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, the first one will be cooking. Okay, cooking. Yeah, you know, I always ask myself, or I always wonder why, you know, when you look at some relationships, even especially marriages, you hear when some guys or some husbands will say they don't know how to cook, or even there have been situations where actually this man, I know that if you say I don't know how to cook, there are actually genuinely people that don't know how to cook. Okay, yeah, but there are some people that, you know, used to live by themselves before they got married. Okay, and they used to cook for themselves, and then when they get married, automatically they no longer know how to cook. But then I wonder why. Is it that they really don't know how to cook, or is it that they feel like, you know, the responsibility or the cooking duty is meant to be for a woman? Okay, I just ask those questions sometimes and I wonder, because I know it happens. Okay, it's there in relationships, okay, where you see the man doesn't help at all when it comes to cooking, you know, in the kitchen. Either probably them saying that cooking and all that is meant for a woman, or maybe they don't know how to cook. So like I always wonder, so what did they eat while when they were single, living by themselves? Because I know some of them used to cook. So what happened? Did they automatically stop? Did they just forget how to cook and all that? But that being said, you know, personally for me, I don't think cooking is a big deal, or cooking should be a big deal for any woman. Okay, so this is me talking about it in general terms. Okay, so in episode 4, Chioma complained about Paul expecting so much from her with regards to kitchen stuff. Okay, Chioma said that Paul used to cook for himself prior to her moving into their house. Don't forget, Paul and Chioma are not married yet. Okay, they're just dating, and Chioma just moved in with Paul almost 6 months ago. Yeah. So Chioma complained that Paul doesn't help in the kitchen anymore. Prior to them moving in together, Paul cooked. Even he'll also cook her meals sometimes. Okay, yeah. And I feel like, personally, like I said earlier, cooking, especially for me, I don't think cooking is a big deal. But where I feel is a big deal is when first the man is not even cooking at all. I mean, he doesn't know how to cook, or he's not cooking, and then he expects the woman to do all the cooking, which is still okay. But when you now tell your wife or your girlfriend or whatever that you cannot eat, like you have to eat, she has to prep your meal every day because you have to eat them fresh. And I'm wondering, like, why? What do you mean by you have to cook every day? Is it because there's a health condition that is restricting you from eating food that I prep and I put in the refrigerator, or what is going on? Okay, because it's one thing that you're not going to help out in the kitchen, okay, and it's another thing that you expect me to make you fresh meals every day. I think that's so much expectations. Okay, that is so much, and I don't think it's even realistic, especially when the woman in question has a life, has a job, has a career, and just even if she's a stay-home mom, I accept she's willing to, and by herself, maybe that's what she wants to do. But you saying that she has to cook fresh meals for you every day, get your meals ready before you come back from work, I feel like it's not realistic. And at that point, I think Paul his head is shaking, to expect Chioma to cook for him every single day, fresh meals, and not just any kind of meal. She has to make what he wants. I just feel like that's just too much to demand from somebody, not considering how much stress that will cause her, or how it would take away from time that maybe she would have used to achieve other things. So I just feel like men who make demands from their wife to cook fresh meal every day, especially when it's not a health related decision, I feel that is selfish of those kind of people. And you already know that Paul is a very selfish person. Okay, yes. So that's number one. Second thing with Paul in this episode was when he talked about him not wanting to eat Nigerian food, telling Chioma that it's unhealthy. Nigerian jollof is unhealthy, palm oil is unhealthy, and that she needs to stop making those meals and all that. You guys, please remind me again, okay? Where is Paul actually from? Why is he trying to form something that he's not? Because that's what I feel. You know why? Like, I mean, Chioma is Nigerian and she appreciates our food because food is culture, okay? Because you're hanging out with rich people, because you're hanging out with a certain kind of people, you don't want to eat a certain kind of meal. You don't want to eat Nigerian food because you don't want to be perceived to be a certain way or from a certain whatever. I'm like, what is all that for? Please, that is not necessary. That is not necessary. Even the therapist so asked him, do they come home with you? You can do your work wherever you are, but at the same time, come home and let it feel like you're home. Don't bring work and bring your attitude from work home. If you're going to eat salad at work, that is okay. If you're going to eat sushi with your friends, that is fine. But when you come home and she makes some Nigerian food, don't say because if you eat those food, you're going to be perceived a certain way and all that. I mean, you don't have to say that. If you tell me you're not going to eat certain kind of food because of health condition, or maybe because you're in a kind of meal kind of diet or kind of weight loss journey or something, it's okay. But you can eat rice, you can eat palm oil, you can eat all these things in moderation. And I even like Chioma's response because I'm like that. I'm personally like that. When I've heard somebody tell me that I'm always cooking Nigerian meals, and I tell them cooking Nigerian meals in my home is a way to teach my children culture, okay? Because we are from a different culture and we find ourselves in a place with a different culture. When they go to school, they eat American food. When they go here, they eat this. But when they are home, they will eat the food I make. I mean my Nigerian meal. So I kind of relate 100% with Chioma, If she said it from the beginning, if I have my children, I'm going to give them Nigerian food. And all those things about him saying, oh, Chioma cannot measure palm oil, she cannot measure egusi, she cannot measure. As in, Chioma is in, I love her. And I love her so much that I don't want to see her end up with Paul because Paul is not good for her. You know, we don't measure these things. We're Nigerians and we don't measure these things. You just need to use your eyes and measure it and know when it's enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're Nigerian, you know what I mean. So I just feel like you can still sense the arrogance and everything in Paul's voice, you know, the way he speaks to her, the unrealistic demands he makes, you know, the things he says, trying to be this and not that. If you're going to be all that at work, be them at work. If you come home, every woman wants her husband or her man to come home and be her man, not be the guy at the office. Okay, so that's number two. The third thing for me today in this video about Paul and Chioma is when he talked about weight gain. Okay, yes, there is absolutely nothing wrong with my partner telling me that I'm gaining weight, or I'm, you know, maybe encouraging me to lose some weight or something like that. But the funny thing is the way you say it, okay, and it's the intention behind what you're saying. Okay, if you tell me, okay, maybe for health reasons or for whatever reason it is, politely, nicely, with great intentions, that I'm gaining weight and I need to work on my weight, I would actually appreciate, you know, my husband sincerely telling me that maybe I need to lose weight and all that. Even if maybe I know that no woman actually wants to hear that she's gaining weight, or but no woman wants to be told that she's gained weight. Okay, it might make me feel a certain way at the moment, but it's something I know when I think about it afterwards, I'm going to kind of understand, especially like I said, depends on how he said it and what intentions behind it are. But when you now tell her, and Paul has never told her this before, okay, he comes in front of the camera where the therapist is and tells her that he's unattractive to her because she's gained weight. I mean, so what happens if they eventually get married and then maybe start having children and she gains some kind of weight that it's not because she's eating or whatever. There's some weight that comes naturally and there's some weight that comes because due to childbirth. Okay, yeah. So what if she gains that kind of weight? What then happens? Because not everybody's going to have a baby and look the same way they look. Some people have good genes that, you know, they snatch back even without doing anything after baby comes. But some people have to work hard and work hard and work hard. And even at that, you know, it's still not going to just happen overnight. So I feel like, again, I feel like Paul is not good for Chioma. And if you ask me, if I look down deep into his conversation, you guys don't be surprised that you're going to hear something about, you know, infidelity in the long run. Don't be surprised. Just remember that I said it here on my channel, okay? But you know, with Chioma and Paul and weight gain and all, you know, just knowing that, you know, Chioma said when they started, okay, the sex was good, and at this point they barely even have sex, you know. So I'm thinking, is this not a red flag in the relationship already? You know, I feel like something is obviously wrong somewhere. Okay, we might not have gotten it yet, but I feel like in the near future we would see that something other than Chioma's weight gain is actually wrong in the relationship. So that's just a few things about Chioma and Paul that I feel like I didn't like, or that I feel like, again, even, and you know, Paul is just, he doesn't even know how to, I feel like even when he speaks to Chioma, you know, he doesn't speak with love. He doesn't speak out of love or from a place of love, you know. So Chioma, you need to really, you know, it's good that this is happening in their dating phase. Okay, that is the reason why you date. Okay, to know if this guy Paul wants a woman who's going to cook for him every single day, and in a relationship now, that's why they're dating. If it's something that Chioma knows she cannot do in the long run, then she should not go into marriage with Paul, because he's good, he's saying what he wants. Even if I know that, I don't know, but it's good he's saying what he wants right now. That way, if Chioma knows it's not what she'll be able to do, or maybe do for the long run, you know, it's good, it's best for her to just, you know, end it right now. Okay, end it right now. So tomorrow you're not going to be like, because right now he's telling you this is what he wants. So if you're going to date him and get married to him, and you feel like you're not going to be able to meet up to what his standards, and he's not also willing to compromise or make compromise, you know, then you know the relationship has to end. Moving on to Jamal and Deborah, couple number 2. Okay, me personally, I just feel like, you know, this couple, Jamal and Deborah, I feel like they're still young. And when I say young, it has nothing to do with age. Okay, young in the sense that they're still discovering themselves. Okay, Deborah is still discovering. I feel like she should just step out of that relationship, step out of the relationship, discover herself better, know what she wants, know how she can achieve those things before going into a relationship, because I feel like she's just full of drama. She's full of drama, you know. Yeah, that's how I feel about her. I feel like she needs a little bit of growing up to do, emotionally and otherwise, okay? Yeah. For Jamal, I think he needs to come out clean. Do you really want to be with this girl, or are you just wasting her time? You know, because there are a lot of things they said in this episode that I feel like personally Jamal is not being 100% honest and truthful to her, you know. And I kind of understand her concerns sometimes, even if I feel like some of it she's going about it the wrong way. She's kind of being a little bit dramatic, you know what I mean? But I feel like Jamal needs to come clean and tell Deborah what exactly he wants from her. Another thing I'm going to say about Deborah is that I sense a little bit of insecurity with her, okay? I don't know if it's insecurity from just being so much in love with him, but then even if you're in love with somebody, what is insecurity? I feel like, you know, if she's going to get married to Jamal at any point, she's going to have to deal with her insecurities, okay? Her jealousy, or I don't know really call it jealousy, but I feel like, you know what this guy does, okay? He's going to work with both male and female clients. Yes. So it's either you know that right now and accept it from the start and not continue to fight about, you know, his career, who he can work with, who he cannot work with. I mean, realistically, if you're going to be overly jealous and protective, then you should not be with Jamal, okay? Because Jamal is going to have to work with a lot of females now and in the long run. So are you going to continue fighting with him? Are you going to continue, or will you tell him not to even take female clients anymore? You know, so I feel like she needs to work on her insecurity and really ask herself if Jamal is the kind of man she can be with in the long run. I mean, based on his profession or his career, you know. So yeah, that's another aspect about Deborah that is, I feel like I'm concerned that, you know, she, you know, and basically I just think she's just dramatic. She has a little bit of drama in her. Yes, I said that. You know, she also said it herself that she doesn't want to be possessive and controlling, but I see a very possessive and controlling girlfriend in her, okay? And then with the issue of Jamal training his ex-girlfriend, you know, I don't think I buy that, okay? An ex is an ex and is an ex for a reason, okay? Yes. So, you know, I personally, I think that it's a dangerous game, you know, for you to let him train his ex-girlfriend. I mean, she can find somebody else to work with, or he can find other people to work with, but working with your ex, staying in closed doors and all that, I feel like it's just you digging hole for yourself to fall inside. So this thing about ex, if an ex is an ex, they're an ex and they should stay ex forever, okay? Yes. So I don't think it's right for Jamal to work with his ex-girlfriend. Even if Deborah thinks she's okay with it, she's not okay with it, you know. So I just feel like for Deborah and Jamal, I feel like they need a little bit of growing up to do. They need to kind of redefine their relationship and know if actually they are meant for each other, if they are compatible, and just generally they need to just go back and rethink and ask themselves questions like if this is what they really, really want, okay? So that's what I think about Deborah and Jamal. But back to Chioma and Paul, you know, I still believe that Paul is not good for Chioma, okay? Okay, so I just thought I'd review episode 4 of the Blue Therapy here. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section. If you have watched it, what do you think? If you have actually really watched it, what do you actually think? Especially, I'm more concerned about Chioma in this whole show, okay? I don't think I want her to end up with Paul. It's just going to drag her down emotionally. So I feel like, you know, they are not good for each other. Paul is not good for Chioma, okay? And please, one more thing. Why is it that most of the Chiomas, you know, or most of the ladies who bet Chioma, you know, at least in recent time, we've seen that they always end up with people like Paul. They always end up with people that are not deserving, okay? So I think we should just set it out right now that if you're Nigerian, if you're Igbo and you're going to have a baby girl, please don't name her Chioma, because the trend of the kind of men that we see these Chiomas going with is not good. It's not good, okay? And yeah, I have a sister actually who's called Chioma, by the way. So Anyways, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the reaction. If you're not already watching Blue Therapy, I'll also leave a link in my description box if you're interested in watching it. It's a really good show. It's a social experiment that I think that, if you can learn something from it as much as get entertained as well. So this brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you please subscribe to my channel, like, share, leave a comment. Leave a comment, tell me what you think, like my video, share and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.